and the gravity of this horrific chemical spill in West Virginia. A chemical spill along the West Virginia River has triggered a tap water ban. A tap water ban for 300,000 people. Have you heard about this on the national media? What? They're more worried about Chris Christie and the bridge over troubled waters. You want to know where the troubled waters are? The troubled waters are in West Virginia right now. Look at this. There's been a ban on all tap water drinking for 300,000 people. They're shutting down the schools, the bars, the restaurants. They're forcing residents to line up for bottled water at stores. Governor Earl Ray Tomblin declared a state of emergency for 9 counties following the spill of this 4-methylclohexene methadol. I'll spell it down below so you can get the exact pronunciation. But it's a chemical used in the coal industry. The spill occurred on the Elk River in Charleston, West Virginia's capital and largest city, just upriver from the eastern U.S. state's largest water treatment plant. Is this terrorism? I don't know. I'm asking a question, not accusing anybody. I'm just asking a question, because if you're going to pour this chemical into water, this would be the perfect place to do it. If you're trying to kill as many people as possible. West Virginians in the affected service areas are urged not to use their tap water for drinking, cooking, washing their clothes, or bathing. You've just cut the water off to almost 500,000 people, maybe more. And I tell you what, I don't think anybody should drink the water in West Virginia, all throughout the state of West Virginia. And you need to look downhill where else it's going. Emergency workers were transporting water to distribution centers in the affected counties, according to the Charleston Gazette. Local media showed pictures of residents lining up at stores for bottled water, and shelves have emptied of their supplies. At a Kroger supermarket in Charleston, the police officers stood guard as shoppers stocked up on bottled water. People have been grabbing it like crazy. They're buying 2 cases at a time, maybe more, loading up their SUVs. Folks, it's going to get really, really weird up there in West Virginia right now with this chemical spill. So thank you, Pumpkin Shoe, for this report. We'll continue to monitor this. This is not going to go away in a day or two. This is a major spill, and it will have a lasting effect. Wow. Also, I have some more breaking news out of Russia. I want to thank Penny of Virginia for this report. But I told you I've been, how can I say it? One of the 14 apocalyptic signs was the concern for the Winter Olympics. 5 bodies have been found shot in the head near Sochi, which is where the Winter Olympics will take place and will begin February 7th. 30,000 Russian troops are already on combat alert for the Olympic Games opening in Sochi, Russia, on February 7th, 2014. Russian security forces uncovered 5 bodies of men, all shot in the head, just east of Sochi. There was also bomb traps surrounding the 4 vehicles holding the bodies exploded. So as security officers were approaching, they had taken the due care to avoid this threat, though, and were able to disarm it without them blowing up. So not only did they kill these guys, these 5 men, not only did they shoot them in the head, but then they booby-trapped where their bodies were to try to kill more people. This is terrorism. This is radical Islamic terrorism. And it's in Russia. And it's not just toward the Russian government, but it's toward the world as it relates, of course, to the Olympic Games that are coming. So keep an eye on that as that's going on. And we have information coming out of Kenya. 30 al-Shabaab rebels have been killed in a Somalian air raid, according to Kenya's reports. Nairobi Kenya said Friday it had killed at least 30 al-Shabaab rebels, including top commanders, in an air raid on a training camp over in Somalia. The raid took place last night, January the 9th, 2014, at a Shabaab camp there in Somalia, about 390 miles northwest of the Somali capital of Mogadishu, and near the border of Kenya and Ethiopia. The Kenyan Defense Force fighter jets attacked this al-Shabaab camp where a meeting was being held, according to a senior Kenyan Defense Force official. The initial battle damage assessment indicates more than 30 al-Shabaab militants killed in this raid. So again, violence continuing. Some nations trying to fight the war against terror. But when you're dealing with Al-Qaeda or Taliban or Hezbollah or Hamas or Al-Shabaab or Boko Haram up in Nigeria or any of the other offshoot groups, you're dealing with radical Islam. You're dealing with a spirit of darkness. There's no such thing as peaceable religion in this. This is all about murder and mayhem and destroying the population that don't believe as they do. And so, you don't want to miss our show today with Wally Shubat, who just does a tremendous job in breaking down what radical Islam is all about. Wally, of course, was born in Bethlehem and was a former member of the PLO before being born again. And he and his married his Christian wife. He's now studied the Word of God intensely and understands exactly why radical Islam will be a part of the New World Order, including the involvement of implementing the New World Order from a religious standpoint, if you will. This is holy jihad. No wonder my book I just wrote, which is going to the press and will be in our hands within the next week to 10 days. You can find out about it at my website. I wrote a book called Jerusalem Jihad, and the reason is that people could understand about the New World Order, the Illuminati, and how it all plays a part along with radical Islam. They're all in bed together. You've got to understand. It's prophesied in the Bible. It's playing out before your very eyes. So don't miss today's broadcast today from 12 noon to 3 p.m. Eastern with our guest, Walid Shubat, who will be speaking. Remember, he was there in the Six-Day War in 1967, and I'm sure that he can tell us a lot. Just sit back and listen to the powerful presentation and explanation from the Word of God and what's happening to our Christian brothers and sisters and Jews around the world. I'm Pastor Paul Begley. Pray one for another. This world is falling apart into chaos.